Hey everyone, this is Cindy Create the Heart, and this mess is all the projects that I made for the stamp market. I don't know what they're calling it. It's the event that the stock market virtual event that they put on, and I cannot for the life of me recall exactly what they call it. Some kind of create. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about the projects that I made and some extra projects that I made, along with like a recap of what we got in our kit. So I get a little confused with their products because they do a lot of products that are separate but the same, and it confuses me. So we have this stamp set called Floral Medley, okay? Then there's this Mega Floral Medley die, which, okay, that's easy for me to figure out that that's different, okay? But then, see, I have no idea if I mix these up. We have the Floral Medley layering and the Floral Medley. So the Floral Medley, I believe, is supposed to go with this, the stamp set. And then the other one is one that you can use separately. I get so confused. So regardless, it's great. You'll get to see it. And then we have this jumbo 6x8 stamp set called Stylish Sentiments, and it's pretty fabulous. We also received in our kit the Stylish Sentiments die set. So the die set can be dyed on its own, or you can use it to die cut some of the sentiments from the Stylish Sentiments. For example, the thanks cuts out, the hello cuts out. I think there's a HB and a hi, and a couple other sentiments in here I think work with the die set. Like I said, I wasn't paying attention, so things got mixed up. Then we have the Stylish HB, which are these giant happy birthday letters that layer on top of each other. I also got confused with those, but that's just user error. We also got some 12 by 12 paper, some 6 by 6 paper, and then 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So those papers I have put away already, just because they can be a hot mess. The other thing we got were some stencils, and I don't know what the word is. I'm on the fence about how I feel about the stencils, because on the one hand I think they're very useful, on the other, you know, it's not quite as clean as other ways that you could do the same thing. Having said that, this is a cheap way. It's the old school way of how we used to make boxes, for example. So what we got in here is an A2 size box bottom and box top, and we also got a shadow box, which the first one I made is terrible, so I made a second one and I'm a little happier with it. I was going to decorate it some more, but I just didn't have a chance, and I need to move on because I need to clean up my craft room again, and I need to get through a lot of projects before I go on a big trip. So that's giving you an idea of what we got in our kit. So the first thing that we did was we made a bunch of tags, which, oh, here they are. Now we made 4 tags, but I didn't do the 4th tag because it was a shaker, and I decided I didn't want to do a shaker. And she made it into a book, a tag book. And you know, I like tag books, but I just was looking to make some tags because I do sometimes will take a plain paper sack or a plain little bag that I can buy like 10 for super cheap at, like, you know, Amazon or whatever, and then I just attach this to the outside of it for gift wrap, like it's my packaging, right? So what we did was we just this one's just white. This one is, these two are using the paper that came in our kit, and we used the elements from the kit. So they were fairly simple to make, and I liked them. So there was that. Okay, then we made, I'll show you the shadow boxes. Okay, so we didn't use the stencil in the class, but I used it for the shadow box. I made this first one and I screwed it up because I just screwed it up. We'll just leave it at that. Like I didn't pay attention. I didn't do it correctly. So I screwed it up. That's okay. So it gave me an idea of what to work with and to show you how you can screw things up. I did. So this one, so in theory, you could do it this way where it's just a shadow box, or you can make this little cover for it. And I used all the elements from the kit, and I used that stencil. So I used the stencil, and I think it's very cute. I was going to put like a little bee in there or something, and I just didn't do it. So there you go. Let's see. We also made some cards. Okay, so here is the box. So in the class, she made a tiny little tag for it and wrapped it up in ribbon. I didn't do that because I knew I was going to be showing you guys. But this is the bottom and the top. So you could do it without acetate, just having a full covered box, which I think would be great if this was a gift with something you want to hide in it. Like let's say you put a necklace in here. You could just do it as a regular box. But I think that if you're going to be gifting cards, I think it's good to do it this way so people can kind of get an idea of what's inside. So here are some cards. Now in the class, so I put an envelope in here too so you can see envelopes fit. In the class, we made this card. And you can see how those elements with that large stamp set. So there's that. And then I think this was part of the class too. I don't know if it's part of the class or one of the like make and takes. And then this was a card that I made on my own with sort of leftover pieces that I had. And so there's that. And then I decided to make another box. And so I had cut a fourth tag, but instead I used some pieces that were left over from cutting things out in the class. And then I used some of this pet tape from the Not Too Shabby shop to decorate very quickly and easily. Here is a card. Very simple card, and then another card using this leftover circle as well as some leftover pieces that I had cut out, and then some more of that pet tape. So there's that. And then I made this card. I just wanted to use that large HB and be able to layer it. I wanted to see how it looked layered, and I think it looks pretty amazing. And then I think I stuffed the inside. And then I used that large die. So you can see how that looks. And then this was a make and take that I just really loved how this one came out. So that one came out really fun, and using just all the pieces from the kit. So that's the class. Now I like the Stamp Market. It's very stylish and very modern, but I feel sometimes like there's repetition in the product line. So that's sort of my argument, like getting multiple dies that are very similar. I would have preferred a different die set. Like I would have liked the die that goes with the stamp set. I think that would have been great. And I would have liked the other die to have been different and not the same product. Because I already can do those things with the product we got. So that's my complaint. However, I think, as always, it's beautifully put together, and you know, these are basic enough items that I should hopefully be able to use them within the other products that I have, you know, in my craft room. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is Cindy Crane at the Heart.